Your favorite sweater. The one you reach for first on a cold morning, and if you're honest, part of why you love it is how you got it. $60 marked down to $30. You didn't just buy a sweater that day, you beat the system, just a little. You won. You can still feel it a little, can't you? That quiet hit of, I got away with something. Hold on to it, because here's something strange. Almost nothing sells at full price, ever. That $60 was never really the price. It was hung there for one reason, to make the $30 feel like a victory instead of just a transaction. So, what really happened to JCPenney? Turns out that's the exact same question. Now, if you're anything like me, your brain has already lined up a few comfortable explanations for that little thrill. And it would very much like you to pick one and move on. Let's not. Maybe I'm just careful with money. Nice try. Careful with money feels like relief. What you felt at that register was a little thrill. Those aren't the same animal. Okay, maybe I genuinely got a great deal. Did you, though? A great deal compared to what? Hold that thought. Fine, maybe the sweater really was worth $60. And there it is. That number, the 60, is the whole trick. It walked right past you without ever once being questioned. So let's question it. Here's the part that got me. This isn't a retail trick. It's not clever signage. It's not the color of the sale tag. It's a bug. In you. In the way your brain guesses what something is worth. We caught it red-handed back in 1974. Two psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman, and a wheel of fortune they'd quietly rigged. They'd spin it, fixed a stop on either 10 or 65, then ask people something with nothing to do with the wheel. What percentage of the countries in the United Nations are in Africa? The ones who saw 10 guessed, on average, about 25%. The ones who saw 65 guessed 45. A random number, one everyone knew was meaningless, moved what they believed about the world. And before you feel too smug about those poor test subjects, they ran the same trick on the experts. Real estate agents, seasoned pros. They walked them through a real house, handed them a listing price, and asked what it was actually worth. Show one group a listing price 11% higher than the others, same house, same everything, and their professional appraisals drifted apart by $14,000. Then they asked the agents, straight out, whether the listing price had swayed them. Almost to a man, they said no. Of course not. I'm a professional. They couldn't feel it either. That's the thing living in your head. A scale with no markings of its own. Show it any number first, and it grabs on and you won't even know it happened. A crossed out 60 is just a very well-aimed spin of the wheel. So watch what happens with your sweater. Picture two tags. The first just says 30. A fair, quiet price. The second says 60, struck through with 30 underneath. Same sweater. Same $30 leaving your pocket. But the second doesn't feel like spending 30. It feels like saving 30. Nothing changed but the number you saw first. The crossed out 60 dropped an anchor, and everything after got measured against it. Here's why it works on you, and on everyone. Your brain has no built-in price tag. There's no quiet little voice inside that knows a sweater is worth $30, full stop. It can only ever answer the question, compared to what? So it grabs the nearest number and measures out from there. Show it a 60, and 30 feels like a rescue. Show it a 10, and that same 30 feels like a mugging. Whatever number you meet first quietly becomes the ruler you measure the rest of your day with. And once a store knows your mind works this way, it can do something almost funny. It can sell you nothing and still steer you. Years ago, The Economist offered 3 subscriptions. Web only, $59. Print only, $125. Print and web, also $125. Read that again. Print and web cost the same as print alone. Who on earth would take print by itself? Nobody. Not one person chose it. So why put it there? A behavioral economist named Dan Ariely tested exactly that. With that pointless middle option sitting on the page, 84% of people grabbed the print and web bundle. Take it away, same 2 real choices left, and 68% flipped to the cheap web-only plan. A product nobody bought, quietly worth a fortune. It was never there to sell. It was there to be the 60, a number set down only to bend the ones around it. Anchor, decoy, crossed out tag. Same trick, different costume. The high number was never a price, it was always a prop. Now, most of this we can only argue about in a lab. But once someone ran the experiment for real on a company worth billions. In late 2011, JCPenney handed the keys to Ron Johnson, the man who'd built Apple stores, walking in as the retail genius of his generation. Nobody doubted him. He'd made buying a phone feel like a pilgrimage, so fixing the price tags at a department store was supposed to be the easy part. And the next year he looked at how the place actually priced things. Hundreds of separate sales a year, and almost nothing, ever sold at that first higher price. The high number wasn't a price, it was the prop, so he pulled the plug, all of it. Real prices. No coupons, no fake markdowns. One honest low price every day. He gave customers in survey after survey exactly what they said they wanted. The customers left. Not slowly, in a stampede. Same-store sales fell by about a third in a single year. Revenue dropped from around $17 billion to $13. Close to $1 billion in losses. The people who swore they hated being tricked, it turned out, did not want the trick to stop. They wanted to keep winning. Think about what that means. In survey after survey, customers had said and meant that they hated the fake sales, the coupons, the endless games. They weren't lying. And they walked anyway, because meaning something and feeling it are two different things, and the feeling was on the other side of the door. About 17 months in, the board fired him. The coupons came back. The crossed out was prices came back, and so slowly did the customers. Johnson hadn't canceled the discounts. He'd canceled the feeling, and it turned out the feeling was the whole business. You did not save $30, you paid $30. The other $30 was never real, but the feeling of saving it was the only thing you were ever really buying. Anyone standing where he stood might have made the same bet. They did not thank him for it. So now you'll start seeing it everywhere. The was 60, now 30. The compare at. The wine list with one absurd bottle at the top that's there, only so the second priciest looks sensible, and you order it and you feel like the reasonable one. The originally 80 on a thing that has never, not once, sold for 80. The receipt that offers you a 22% tip first, so 18 suddenly feels almost stingy. Every store plays this game because every store is playing it against the same bug, and the bug is in all of us. Every wardrobe holds a few trophies from battles that were scripted in advance. And here's what I want to be honest about. There's no homework at the end of this. No clever trick for outsmarting the store. You can hear every word I just said, walk past that crossed out tag tomorrow, and feel the exact same little thrill. Half the time so would I. So no, you were never the sucker in this story. You were just human. Running on a mind that measures everything against whatever number it saw first. The same mind those real estate agents had, the same one those students had. None of them felt it either. None of them were stupid. They were just people standing next to a number they never chose, which when you get right down to it, is all any of us ever are at a checkout. The store never really sold you a sweater. And it didn't sell you a discount. It sold you the feeling of winning. And that's the one thing it can never, ever mark down. The sweater was always going to cost $30. The feeling was always the better seller. The mechanism was there the whole time. Now you can't unsee it.